よく立った。で、その後は何があるのだ?
I feel a scorching heat in my right hand. Here, on the brink of death, I'm reminded of what happened 10 years ago. It's a terrible illusion. I feel just like I did when I was in the fire, reaching a hand out and hoping to be saved. Go away. I can't leave Saber to you. I say that as I raise my right hand. Gilgamesh raises his sword. I hear Saber far behind me. I ignore her and use my remaining magical energy to project the sword once more. The light stops me. A vortex of light rushing at me. It's not as strong as Excalibur, but it still burns away anything it touches. When the heat scorches my body, I don't think about my death. I think about Saber somewhere behind me. This will kill her as well as me. I at least need to protect her, then. I said it's what I do. It's what I've always wanted to do. She's strong, but at the same time could break at any moment. She needs me. She's like a drawn sword, so to make sure she doesn't get hurt, I'll sheath her. And then, before I realize what's going on, there's a sword in my right hand. I'm not sure who said that, but there is a brief hesitation. At the same moment, the invincible knight in gold takes a step backwards. Saber takes my hand. Bitch slap with a sword! The vortex of light fades. Saber is right beside me. Before me is Gilgamesh, eyes open and bleeding. I don't know what happened, but I realize that it's just like the Berserker battle. Saber is using whatever I made, and it destroyed Gilgamesh's Grom. Two titanic beams of light collided before the two beams of light collided before one overwhelms the other, and we managed to truly wound the man who, until now, had been completely unscathed. He radiates murder as intense, and it's terrifying. In spite of that ferocious, murderous rage, the golden light leaves without a word. Eh? But there's no time to be surprised. I have no idea why he left. But even as I feel myself slipping into unconsciousness, I know the battle's over. My knees buckle. The tension that kept me upright fades, and I collapse. Shiro hurries forward to and catches me. Saber hurries forward and catches me. Shiro. While I slip down and onto my rear, supported by Saber, I look over my body. I can't help but cry out. My body is torn to pieces. I should have been killed the instant Gilgamesh laid me open from shoulder to hip. Well, this is definitely a healing power. Must be what's got me clinging to life. But even that has its limits. I'm practically split in two. I can't possibly recover from this. I'm not even sure if I'm breathing, and everything is starting to go dark. My end is near. The only good thing to come from this is that Saber is okay. My wounds are fatal, and it looks like Saber was just exhausted. She's disarmed, and her wounds are already healed. Even if I end up having to drop out of the war, I'm sure Tosaka can take the care of the rest. I hear that sound again. That sound of creaking bones. It's coming from me. I'm curious. I look at my wounds. What? I see myriad swords. Or I see what looks like a ton of tiny blades converging and layering atop each other, trying to knit together my broken body. I feel faint. It looks like every muscle and bone in my body is made from swords. Eh? The next moment, they're gone. My body looks normal, and what I thought I saw a moment ago seemed to have been an illusion. As proof of that, my ruined flesh begins fusing together. My wounds close right before my eyes. It's more like restoration rather than healing. Looking at it, I feel a surge of disgust rather than fascination. What? Looks like I'm going to make it. But this is just too... I hear Saber's voice at my ear. She's, really close. Well, that's great, but my body, what's... I want to ask what's going on with my body, but I'm suddenly overcome with dizziness. And then, my body is enveloped in a soft embrace. Saber? I can't stay awake. I produce too much magical energy. My worn-out mind just wants to sleep now. I don't know how strong it is, but Saber moves and wraps her arms around me. She embraces me tight. Her words penetrate deep into my tired mind. That sensation is so comforting, and the last of my remaining consciousness fades away. I realize I'm safe, and so I yield my body to sleep. Before sleep takes me, I find myself thinking, with a little foolish sadness, that the scene would be better if our positions were reversed. For the final time, I see the red hill once again. The red memory. I dive deeper into her memory, and I realize I'm seeing it for the last time. It's a memory of a certain night that I've seen many times already. After becoming king and killing her will so that she could devote herself to the will of her nation, her days were now marked by the resentment of her trusted knights. Every time she won a battle, Altria was made to fight more battles she didn't want. She continued to hide her sex, which heaped more suspicion onto her. All that awaited the isolated girl was rebellion at the hands of her own family. A young knight took over the nation while the king was away on an expedition. The knight's name was Mordred. The knight, son of Altria's older sister, Morgan, was in fact the king of Knight's own son. Altria was never able to have a child as a woman. But Mordred had her blood coursing through his veins. I'm not clear what happened to make this possible, but Altria's older sister, Morgan, loathed her for becoming king. Mordred was created as a clone and served the king without knowing who his father was. Mordred sought an opportunity to take the throne for himself, ultimately going so far as to organize a revolt. That revolt would end in what became known as the Battle of Cumlin, the final battle and the end of King Arthur. The king learned of Mordred's betrayal during her expedition and returned with her weary army to invade her own lands. She defeated many of the knights who used to serve her. She attacked the lands she once defended. Those few knights who remained loyal to her died. The only two left standing in the end were the king and her son, Mordred. The combat between the two of them ended in the king's victory, but the king was not unharmed. Mordred was bound by a powerful curse and swung his sword even after dying, inflicting a fatal wound on the king. And so the battle ended. It was the end of her, the king once known as the King of Knights. It must have been heart-wrenching. None of the battles she fought were painless. Every one of the 12 battles she fought was intense, but this one was her greatest loss. She returned to her homeland only to have to destroy her own army. She was forced to punish the knights who once served her, and had to watch those knights who remained loyal to her die. And in the end, she had to kill her own son. I have no idea what was going through her head in that moment. But I had to pray. I had to pray for the lone knight who tried to remain king until the very end. I pray that this dream of her just before her death is the kind of dream a girl named Altria would want to see. I open my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room, lying on my futon. Saber, how did I... I see. I guess that's good. But what about Saber? She uses Excalibur. She must be running low on magical energy since she probably healed herself too. Saber, were you taking care of me this whole time? I mean, I could have tried to stab you into help, but I had a feeling that wouldn't work. You dummy, you didn't have to do that. You're probably suffering too. Saber reaches for a basin of water for a basin of water that sits beside her. She draws a towel out of it and wrings it before wiping me off with cool water. Honestly, what she does mostly just embarrasses me. I don't have a fever. That's not what I mean, and I want you to rest too. Babaka, you might be fine right now, but you still used Excalibur. You should be resting, or you might collapse again like last time. Well, I guess that makes sense. She's got me there. When she says it like that, I can't really do anything but agree. Fine, I'm going to rest, but I want you to rest too, Saber. I won't be able to sleep knowing you aren't resting. Saber nods in agreement, then wrings the towel and hangs it over the edge of the basin. I do my best to swallow my embarrassment, and as I watch Saber tend to me. Okay.
あなたが助かって本当によかった。
There, under the moonlight, I see Saber smile. Her smile seems fragile, maybe because of the pale moonlight. Before I get a good look, the door closes. Huh. When Saber disappears into her room, I'm stricken by a sudden sense of relief. Or maybe loneliness. I regret not telling her to stay here and just take my futon while I use my arm as a pillow. But that would be too much for her. Besides, if we did that, it would remind me of that night. I shake off the image that works its way into my mind. Too many things have happened today. It feels like an entire week has gone by just today. My day with Saber was more challenging than fun. Then we got into an argument and I left, abandoning Saber. And then... No, I shouldn't think of that until I've completely recovered. Not only do we have to deal with Gilgamesh, but we also need to defeat Lancer, and whoever his master is. We need to rest, recover, and regroup so we can be at our best, or else we don't have a chance of winning. This only happened a few hours ago. I think Saber said something about me being her sheath. At the time, I couldn't ask what she meant. I was a wreck and near passing out. Oh, come on. I can't fall asleep. In Saber's dream, her face, resolute even on the brink of death, overlaps with the sight of Saber tending to me. Then I hear her voice saying goodnight. The image of her frail profile, of her smile, is burned into my mind. It's not a smile I saw in any of my dreams of her life. She says it makes her happier when she sees me smile. That just drives me nuts. I'm not sad, just exasperated. I don't know why it annoys me so much I actually find myself getting angry. I punch my futon. The desire to lash out in the face of this frustration just completely overwhelms me. A concerned voice strips him from the other side of the closed door. We might be getting into something here, so... I'm just going to go ahead and read that data now. Okay, true name Gilgamesh. Part man, part god. He is a king who ruled Uruk, a city-state of Sumeria before the Common Era. A ruler not just of legend, but who is also believed to have actually existed. He has written in one of mankind's oldest epic poems, the Epic of Gilgamesh. A two-third divine and one-third human demigod, he is a peerless sovereign of the world. And a supreme king who has obtained everything in existence. Initially, he was a tyrant who thought little of his citizens, but his behavior gradually changed after befriending Enkidu. Enkidu was a divine creation made by the goddess Aruru in response to the prayers of the people suffering under Gilgamesh's oppressive rule. Enkidu and Gilgamesh were destined to meet, and they affected one another greatly. At first, Gilgamesh feared and viewed Enkidu as an enemy, but the two of them formed a mutual bond and later worked as mutuals to govern the nation. The two of them also defeated the guardian of the forest. The divine beast Humbaba. If you guys will remember the Final Fantasy VI playthrough, Humbaba was the name of that special behemoth who attacked the village Tifa was protecting in the World of Ruin. So that's where that name comes from. And Gilgamesh would eventually go on to be known as the greatest king on earth, taking possession of every fortune known to man. At this point, Gilgamesh was a dazzling and powerful being, and even the gods could not ignore. A goddess fell in love with Gilgamesh. The goddess of fertility, Ishtar, proposed marriage to the perfect king, but Gilgamesh bluntly rebuffed the goddess's proposal. He did so because he knew Ishtar was a capricious and brutal witch who ruined men's lives. And angry Ishtar claimed Gilgamesh insulted her, and she sent her father Anu's bull of heaven to earth as retaliation. The unleashing of this unbeatable divine beast caused 7 years of famine and destruction. Gilgamesh and Enkidu worked together to confront the bull of heaven and successfully defeated it, further tarnishing the goddess's reputation. Ishtar's anger could not be quelled, so the goddess asked the god for the death of either Gilgamesh or Enkidu, reasoning that a human killing a divine beast is a punishable sin. Ishtar's wishes were heard, and Enkidu slowly wasted away until they died, and they were a creation of the gods and unable to resist their orders. This was the start of Gilgamesh's downfall. He was shocked to find that his friend, the only one who could match him in power, was just as capable of death. Gilgamesh was haunted by the fear of his doom, and so he set on a journey to the underworld in search of immortality. After an arduous trek, Gilgamesh obtained the elixir of immortality. However, as he bathed on home, a snake drank the elixir, and Gilgamesh was left to die in despair. It is said that snakes are reborn and into a new body each time they shed their skin because one drank Gilgamesh's elixir. Humanity's oldest king of heroes, Gilgamesh, tells of his clash with the gods, his journey to seek immortality, and a great flood over the world. Everything in his epic became the archetype and basis for all mythology. His name may not be as recognized as Arthur or Heracles, but as comparatively nameless figure is the oldest hero king. His overwhelming power makes him the strongest heroic spirit. Oh boy, that was a long word. That was long reading. I think the divinity here may be new. B, but A plus in brackets. I guess that's what his true divinity rank would be. He has the highest aptitude for being a divine spirit, but because he hates the gods, it has been ranked down. Enuma Elish, star of creation that divided heaven and earth. Rank EX, anti-world, range 1 to 99, max target 1,000 persons. I would think anti-world would be wider than that, but whatever. Ea, the sword of rupture, the blade that can sever space itself. A rift created by compressed and clashing winds becomes an artificial fault line that divides space-time, annihilating everything that stands against it. There is no way to defend against its destructive power unless it has a target anti-purge AC or an attack powerful enough to cancel it out. The damage value was strength times 20, but the magic value can randomly be added to strength. Its maximum range is 4,000. However, its damage increases exponentially when noble phantasms from the treasury are used as backup. It is a sword with the power to sever the world, which makes it equal to or even more powerful than Saber's Excalibur. Gate of Babylon, treasury of the king. This is what he used a lot in Fate Samurai Remnant. Rank E to A++, type anti-personnel, range a key-shaped sword that connects the gold to the golden capital. It bridges space and allowed the user to freely take any treasure from the vault, though it need not be said. The more treasures that are gathered, the greater the power of his noble phantasm. My breathing is heavy, so she must think I'm having some trouble sleeping. No, it's okay, but why are you still awake? Are you truly... Oh.
本当にシロの方はよろしいのですか？まだ苦しいのでしたらそちらに行きますが。
Maybe I should go over... No, that's even worse. All the pent-up feelings I've been barely holding back will come rushing to the forefront if I see Saber now. Saber, can I talk to you for a bit?
はい。このままでよろしければ。
We start talking through the sliding door. Since I can't actually see her, I think back to that smile, the last expression I saw on her face. She looked so happy. And when I think of it, I find myself getting more frustrated rather than less. I don't know why I'm getting so warm. The power of horny! But I still need to talk to Saber. I have to tell her that even if I don't have the right answer, she's still wrong. My voice trembles. My tongue feels heavy in my mouth. Once I say it, I won't be able to take it back. I'm fully aware of that. It's okay, just... things are fine, so you need to smile for yourself. Some unknown force forces the words from me.
シロ。そんな。どうして。
There shouldn't even be a question. I'll still keep repeating myself until you realize it. Saber, you've done enough. You worked hard enough. You fought so hard all on your own. That's why it shouldn't be right unless you found happiness. You fulfilled your vow. That gives you the right to go back to being Altria.
何を言うかと思えば。まだそんなことを言うのですか、あなたは。
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. I can't help it. I fell for you. So you should go back to being you. No, Altria. I suppress the sudden urge of emotion. I'm on the verge of breaking down. If only Saber would just say something, even a single word.
私を困らせないでほしい。そのようなことを言われても、私は。
This music, my God! Her answer is unchanged. My heart aches from her determination.
シロは私の過去を知って、私の中に何度も入ってきた。私の答えなどあなたは知っているはずなのに、どうしてそこまで私に構うのです。私がどれほどの罪を重ねてきたのか、あなたは見てきたはずなのに。
Yeah, I have. Many people were sacrificed in the name of the king, many enemies killed. I have no intention of pretending that didn't happen. Still, knowing this, I want Altria to be happy. Yeah, so, I don't understand this feeling, but I can't just let you stay like this. I want you to smile, Saber. I want to be with you forever. It's such a childish confession of love. I wait for her answer as the silence stretches out between us. What Saber might be doing, or how she might be reacting behind that closed door, I have no idea. Are my words even getting through to her?
私の答えは変わりません。王の誓いは破れない。ふさわしくなかったとはいえ、私は王として国を任せられた。その責務を果たせなかったというのに、そんな自由は許されない。
Her voice is so sad. I can't stand it any longer. I don't want to hear the solitary oath Altria took when she became king. I already know it. All this frustration wasn't just so I could hear her lamentations. I kicked at the futon covers. The only thing between me and Saber is the sliding door to her room.
シロ
The door slides softly as I open it. My mind goes blank. What was I so angry about? Why was I so sad? Before me, I see trembling eyes on the verge of tears. I see a slender neck and shoulders so thin they seem in danger of snapping in a breeze. And I see her golden hair splashing splashed with moonlight, just like when we first met. Without even thinking, I embrace her. I hold her so tight I might break her. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. This may sound ridiculous. Even though I was aspiring to be a champion of justice, I never fell in love. There was never someone I couldn't let go of. Saber, it's like she might disappear if I don't hold her tightly enough. I'm not sure how long I hold her, but I relax my embrace after reminding myself that no, she won't disappear.
シロ突然に何をこれは一体どういうことですかこんなことをされても私は
She moves slightly in my arms. Her lips tremble. She's about to say something I don't want to hear. She's about to say something I don't want to hear. So I place my lips on hers to silence her. She trembles in my arms. I'm looking at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. But my sense of touch has grown so much more sensitive now. I can feel the softness of Saber's lips. Our lips part. Saber places a hand on my chest and pushes me away gently.
シロ今の口づけは
She wants to say it was a mistake. Saber looks at me, on the verge of tears. It wasn't a mistake. I'll say it as many times as I can. I love you, and I can't let you go. If you don't want that, tell me. Tell me that our relationship is just master and servant. If that's what you really want, then say so directly. Reject me.
卑怯なそのようなことを口にしろというのですかあなたは
That is kind of putting her on the spot. Yeah, if you don't tell me directly, I'm not going to hold back. If you don't reject me, I'll just do what I want. Even if it could could only make her forget her vow to be king for a moment. Neither of us says anything that feels like a long time. What feels like a long time. I keep holding Saber, feeling her soft, slender body. She's still tense, unsure of herself. All I can hear is our breathing and our hearts beating. How many times did our heart beat against each other? She pushes a little harder on my chest.
あなたの気持ちには応えられないあなたがその正しさを変えられないよう私にも変えられないものがあるできるのはせめて許されるとしたらそれは
The pause makes my heart ache. She bites her lip, trembling as if confessing that what we did that night was not permitted. And yet, her body offers no resistance, and the hesitation in her eyes tells me something. Just one night. She's telling me of a hope she feels cannot be fulfilled. She wants to stay like this until the night ends. Saber, I lift my hand, trying to embrace her. Saber takes hold of it.
使いましたからシロから力をもらわないと私は戦えません。
Yeah, this would be the other sex scene in this route. Of course, that's not going to happen in this version of the game. Her hushed voice asking for permission falls silent. I have no words. That line of reasoning is so transparent, but it's the best she could do to ask for her wish to come true. Oh, right. But do you know if the connection's still working properly?
今でもシロからの供給は続いています。ですから回復するためにはこうして。
Our bodies have to be close. It's all we can do. This is as close as we can be, because she is still bound by her oath. I can't break that oath. Saber moves in my arms. I don't know what to do in the heat of her pressed against me. Holding Saber's body, holding Saber's slender body in my arms breaks my heart, makes my heart beat faster. And I'm ashamed of myself for getting agitated. Saber's cheeks practically glow red. She looks so embarrassed.
ですのでシロお願いです。今晩は共にあなたと眠らせてください。ケンとサヤは共にあればその力を取り戻しやすい。それにあの儀式と同じようにより心身を近づければ。
I was thinking of a joke in relation to that, but I'll withhold it. I nod silently. I'm much happier than I am embarrassed. I get to spend the night with Saber in my arms. Our bodies may not touch more than they are now, but we can be more intimate in our hearts.
ではシロ今夜は私が支度をしますので先に部屋に戻っていただけませんか。
Saber stands up. I can't bear to let her go, but she can't stay like this forever, so I head back through the sliding door to my room. I turn back to look at Saber as I slide the door shut. It feels like I'm doing something wrong, though, so I close the door quickly. We are actually going to take the moment to stop there, because we are at time. All right, then. So, we finally found out who the Golden Archer is. So, oh yeah, and we almost died again. God damn it, we're always dying. So, yeah. That, we just started what was originally the other sex scene of the game. But of course, that's not going to happen here. So, so we'll see what that's replaced with next time. So let us set up a raid. We're going to raid Robin, who is playing Security Breach. All right, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like my stuff and you haven't already, please leave a follow. It helps me as a small VTuber. I upload all my stuff on YouTube, and you can also check my socials down there. So, though, again, to remind everyone, I am on Blue Sky now. Oh, and I'm barely I'm barely reacting to, I'm barely going to be on Twitter from now on. So, Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on... Oh, yeah, and tomorrow we'll continue Hollow Knight. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. This is Metis Balaska, signing out.